For today's video, I've got a roundup of some of the best and most interesting travel accessories and gadgets I've found so far for 2024. Not much else to say about it other than that, so let's dive into the first item. These are the MagTame magnetic rolling USB-C cables. I've been using these for a little while now, and it's just such a clever and simple design. I absolutely love it. It is exactly what you think and expect. They are cables that kind of roll themselves back up with magnets. I checked through their site. They have two different versions. These are the O cables and these are the C cables. Essentially, it just depends on how thick they are with how they're wrapped. This kind of wraps parallel alongside each other, and this wraps into itself. Both work really well. I think this type of design lends itself a little bit better to the longer lengths. They have a pretty big variety of options from what I can tell in both lengths and connectivity. These are both USB-C to USB-C, but they do have a USB 3.2 Thunderbolt type of cable. They have a couple of lightning options as well. Fumbling around with cable ties or just shoving, loose, sloppy cables into your backpack or your tech pouch is very annoying, especially when you're traveling. I like to stay organized and just keep everything as neat and tidy as possible. They have 60 watt versions. They have a couple of 240 watt versions as well. So if you have any higher powered devices, higher powered laptops, things like that. Price is also pretty reasonable. They range from about $20 to $60 depending on the length and speed of the cable. That's about it though. Really clever, really simple, just a great way to keep the cables organized in your bag. Next up on the list, we've got the Evolution pant from Western Rise. This will come as no surprise to a lot of you. I know Western Rise is super popular. It's been a long time and I still hadn't had the chance to check out any of their travel pants. Finally got my hands on some and I've been using them for the past couple of months, and I have to say I was hesitant at first, but I am impressed with them. The main reason for my hesitancy, a lot of really travel-focused pants that are really thin and really heavy on the stretch just don't drape very well compared to normal pants. I tend to like a lot of heavier, chunkier type of fabrics, and those, super thin synthetics just don't always go properly with the wardrobe, and they can tend to stretch out a bit over time. With complete transparency, a lot of those things are definitely true with the Evolution pant here, but it was a lot less severe than I was expecting. And it's really offset with the comfort as well as the smaller packability. Running over some quick specs for these, they're 90% nylon and 10% elastane. It is a 107 GSM fabric, so they really are super, super light. They're DWR coated, so they're gonna be water repellent and stain repellent, which is really great for travel. Because the fabric is so thin and light, they're also very, very packable. So if you want to keep a secondary pair in your bag, aside from the one that you're wearing, these packed out into about the size of a t-shirt. Because it is a synthetic with the nylon construction, these don't have any of the anti-odor properties like some of the merino travel pants that I really like, but because they're so thin and they're synthetic, they'll actually dry a lot quicker if you want to do sink laundry or something. Pocket situation's pretty standard here. It's kind of like a typical 5-pocket type of design for denim or casual pants. And you have the 2 front pockets, and then you have the little top pocket in the front. Leave a comment, what is this top pocket for? I'd love to hear your ideas. On the back, you have just the 2 back pockets here, but inside you actually have a little hidden zipper pocket for your wallet. Really nice touch for your travels. I tend to keep my wallet in my sling bag a lot of times, or my front pocket wallet if I'm worried about getting pickpocketed, but having that little bit of extra security for a travel pant is pretty awesome. Fit and comfort for these is really great. I'm typically a 34 pant, and I ordered these in a 35 because they are a super slim fit. Those super tight slim fits are definitely on their way out fashion-wise. I got the 35s and they're very, very comfortable. You could probably get away with a 34, but I appreciate those in-between sizes. A lot of times we only get even sizing. 35 fits me excellent, and I've been really happy with that. They are super thin and definitely have that sort of thin synthetic-y type of feel. That's my only real gripe or complaint with them from a technical standpoint and a feature standpoint. Amazing. If you're in a hot weather climate, I could definitely see the appeal of having really thin pants like this. But if you want something that's just a really super comfy, stretchy, easy travel pant with some few extra features here, I think they are pretty great for what they are. Our next item up on the list is one of my favorite categories, the portable projector. This is the BenQ GB31. BenQ is actually kind enough to sponsor this week's video as well, so a huge thanks to them. I've been a longtime fan of the BenQ GV30. I've talked about it numerous times over multiple years around here. This is the updated version, the GV31. Touching on a few quick specs here, it is a 1080p projector with up to 120-inch projection at a 1.2 throw ratio. It gets up to 300 ANSI lumens with 98% Rec 709 coverage and has a 100,000 to 1 contrast ratio. Picture quality is really nice and crisp with the 1080p upgrade. The colors look really nice and accurate. With that 300 ANSI lumens, it's going to be the most ideal in a low to medium light type of situation. Not to discount the importance of good image quality, but the real draw here with the GV31 is both in the speakers and the portability and form factor. You have built-in 16-watt 2.1 channel speakers. They sound really great and have quite a bit of bass for such a small form factor. Obviously really good for watching TV shows and movies, but you can also use it for music. There's a built-in standalone speaker mode. It won't sound quite the same through the microphone and YouTube's compression, but I'll give you a quick clip of some royalty-free music so you can hear how the speaker sounds. My absolute favorite feature of this projector though is the portability and this really unique form factor. You have 135 degrees of tilt with the way that they designed the stand. You also have built-in auto keystone and autofocus that works super fast and automatically. It's the most like zero effort setup for a projector I've ever had. I love being able to take these on trips, but the GV30 and now the GV31 have been my go-to for ceiling projection in my bedroom at home as well. The setup is beyond easy and I can't express enough how satisfying it is being able to lay completely flat in bed and have just a giant, 100-inch screen above your bed to watch TV at night. For use outside of the home though, you have a built-in battery here that's even longer than the old GV30. It'll go up to 180 minutes for media watching or up to 300 minutes for music only. It's not included in the main package, but you also have the option to add on this hard shell travel case. Makes a big difference, especially if you're taking it outdoors for like outdoor movie nights or camping or anything like that. It keeps it safe and protected. Everything has its place inside. Overall, really good build quality for that. The GV31 runs Android TV 11. Operation is super smooth and responsive. It was a pretty significant upgrade over the GV30 in my experience. You have all the usual apps available that you'd expect, HBO Go, YouTube, Disney Plus, all of that, but you also have built-in native Netflix now, so no need to sideload or cast from your phone or do any of those type of workaround things. It's officially supported Netflix, built in by default. Huge plus over most of the other projectors I've used. The included I/O is solid. You have an HDMI 1.4 port, a USB-C port, USB-A port, as well as a 3.5mm headphone jack. The USB-C port can also double as power delivery to the device separate from the DC port, but it can also provide power to other devices. So if you want to charge your phone or anything when you're on the go, you can do that through this, but it also supports data transfer, so you can do kind of one cable setups with things like a Nintendo Switch to be able to mirror the display onto the projector. And of course you have wireless AirPlay and Chromecast if you want to send stuff from your phone, skip over the native apps or the physical I/O. I've been using this daily in my bedroom for quite a while now. Overall, just a really excellent experience. There are a few projectors out there that are going to rival the ease of setup with this, and I've been really loving it. Be sure to check the links in the description down below if you want to pick one up for yourself. Huge thanks again to BenQ for sponsoring this week's video. I know chargers and power bricks can get a little bit boring, but we've been seeing some big jumps lately in decreasing the size and increasing the wattage and speed of the chargers lately. And this is probably the smallest 140 watt charger I've ever seen. It's from a brand called Aohi. I've had my eye on them for a couple of years now and finally got my hands on a couple of products. We've got one other thing coming up next after this, but this is a 140 watt GAN charger that is just absolutely tiny in size. You have the option of a full 140 watt charge from either of the USB-C ports. If you want to use them in tandem, you get 65 watts each. So if you have a smaller, lower powered laptop, you can charge 2 laptops with this simultaneously. The USB-A port maxes out at 22.5 watts. You have a folding and flipping plug that goes back into itself to save extra space, expected, but a nice touch nonetheless. It also has a color-coded built-in charging indicator light, so if it glows amber, that's fast charging, blue is standard charging, and green is a trickle charge. Kind of a nice little added bonus to see if you're getting the full fast charge, especially on a lot of the Android phones. I know, different protocols and things, so you can get that all checked out, make sure it's working properly. I've been really impressed with it and think the yellow is fun as well. Rounds perfectly into the next item though, is a cable from them. This is called the Future Cable Power Set, also from AOHi. I've been meaning to test this thing out properly since I first heard about it when it launched. I finally got my hands on it and it is as impressive as I hoped. This is a modular cable system, so you have a few different length options kind of all built into one cable with these sort of locking mechanisms. Such a clever idea, and I think they've executed it really well. It's a fully modular cable system, so you have 3 different pieces in total, so you have a combination of different lengths kind of all built into one cable. You have one small 4-inch cable as well as a slightly longer 2.6 foot cable and then a coiled 5.6 foot cable. These can all be combined for a total of 8.5 feet in length, but you kind of have 4 different combinations of lengths depending on what you might need at the time. Really convenient for travel situations. You never know how far plugs are. You never know with a lot of things. So having the flexibility lets you be a little bit more prepared. I think this is super clever. Build quality is really impressive here. I got the nylon braided version. I do believe they make a rubber one as well, but I'm a sucker for like a good fabric braided cable. It also is able to provide a full 240 watts of charging. 240 watts will cover just about anything I can think of. But yeah, just really cool, unique type of design, similar to the Magtame cables earlier. Just super simple and clever and well executed. I think either avenue would be a really good way to go, or some combination of both is probably what I'm going to be doing for my next trip. One wish list item I have for these, I'm not sure if it's even technically possible or not. 240 watts is overkill for most devices. I wish they had like a modular splitter type of item where you could charge 2 devices, with like 100 watts each or something. I think that would be really cool, but otherwise, very happy with this. I've had my eye on it, since it came out, finally got the chance to test it, and it lived up to the hype in my own head. Talking pouches next, this is the Evergoods Civic Access pouch. This is their 2-liter version. I've had my eye on Evergoods as well for quite some time, and I'm really happy to finally be getting around to testing some of their stuff because I've heard nothing but great things. And again, it's definitely lived up to the hype. This is one of the best thought out pouch designs I've ever encountered. It's also one of the most unique. The exterior is padded, so it has a bit of structure to it, and then you have this clamshell design. I really love this compared to a lot of the regular opening pouches. I think it gives you a little bit more 3D space in here to store things and just a little bit more flexibility with how you can use it. So it'd easily double up as a toiletry bag or something else if you wanted to use it instead of as a little tech pouch. Whatever you wanted, I think this is modular enough to work in whatever way fits you best. Going over some of this interior layout here, you have 2 side pockets right here, and then a whole bunch of open 3D space to use however you need. Big charging bricks and things like that I think fit well for things like this, and some pouches just don't really allow the space for it. But this divider as well is movable and adjustable, so you can fit, some stuff over here, some stuff over here. You have a center zipper pouch in here again with another pocket, and then you have a few smaller little baby pockets on the opposite side. Flipping up to the top of the clamshell, you have a little mesh pouch here with a key tag. This also has an external access, so if you want to keep, quick access types of things, keys, AirPods, anything like that, and still be able to get to it without digging through all of it, just open it up from the exterior and get in there that way. Really, really clever. This exterior is a 420D nylon. It's also solution dyed with the black color, so a little bit better for the environment. Lifetime warranty, a built-in spot if you want to customize it with a patch. The 1-liter version of this is also a completely different design and really cool and unique as well if you want something a bit smaller. Maybe I'll talk about that in a future video. I've been using the CPL24 backpack from them for a few months as well, and I've been really loving it. Should probably have something coming out for that soon too. But yeah, very, very impressed with Evergoods and looking forward to diving in more. This has been, probably the most impressive pouch I've tried in quite some time. Next up on the list, we got a portable battery. This is the OmniCharge 40 Plus. Had this for quite some time, but I thought it would be worth bringing up again for this video. I thought it would be a great fit. Something like this is a really great in-between if you want something a little bit more substantial than just, a little MagSafe battery for your phone, and you don't necessarily need something really big like the F2000 power station I've talked about quite a few times. Really good in-between that's going to handle a lot in a really nice and polished way, but not be too overbearing in your bag if you're trying to pack really light. Quite a bit of connectivity here. You have a 100-watt AC port and a 100-watt DC port. Flipping it around to the other side, you have a 100-watt USB-C port, two 30-watt USB-C ports, two 18-watt USB-A ports, and a really great OLED display that'll show the battery percentage as well as the power draw for any of the devices, as well as the temperature of the unit itself. The main 100-watt USB-C port can also be plugged into your laptop, and this can double up as a USB-C hub for your computer, kind of doing double duty there if you need some extra I/O when you're on the go. Really clever and welcomed extra feature. Just really great fit and finish overall with the build quality. The battery capacity is great. My only couple of wish list items for this for potential future versions would be a 140-watt USB-C charger for the 16-inch MacBook Pros. Side note as well, I finally ordered an M3 Max to upgrade my ancient old Intel. I'll be sure to update maybe with an unboxing or something when the time comes, but very excited to finally get out of the Stone Age with my old laptop. But I would love to see a full 140-watt USB-C for this. Otherwise though, this thing is about as perfect as it gets. That's actually going to wrap it up for the list today, though. I really hope you enjoyed it and got a couple of good ideas for your next trip. If you're still watching right now, I'd love to hear from you down in the comments. Thank you all so much for the support, though, and I'll talk to you in the next one.